Hi, this is Matt Donegan at Challenger Stories. I'm here with John Helfgott at Highwood Financial Services. John, tell me all about your business. Let's start. How did you start inside the business?
I started in the business in the late 80s. I was previously working in the fashion industry and I was looking for a change of focus and joined the financial services industry through a major insurance company as a stopgap till I found something that I liked. And I clearly liked financial services and I've been here ever since.
So you've been there since when? 19 when?
1989,
1989.
February 1989. Yep.
And you started to become a major driving force inside the business a little bit later on. When was that when you started to really drive the business?
I was working for an IFA practice locally and was headhunted to join Highwood in 1999. So I've been here since 1999 and became an equity partner in 2000. So 24, 25 years at Highwood.
Okay, 24, 25 years at Highwood. That's a long time in any business. How have you found the journey? Has it been a rapid growth? Has it been gradual growth? How's the journey been for you?
I think initially our business was a standard financial advice practice where we did everything and anything for all people. If you could breathe and sign your name, we would sign you up almost. But round about 15 to 18 years ago, when we moved to Watford, we had a radical rethink of where our business was going and how we'd want to interact with our clients. And I think the major growth has been since that point.
Right. And you say how you interact with your clients. Tell me about that. What have you changed?
Um, Round about that time, we decided we went through a lengthy process utilizing something called the 80/20 rule, which you may be familiar with, where we analyzed where our business was coming from and what we were good at, what were our good clients, and we started to concentrate on fields that we were good at and disregarded others. So, for example, we closed our mortgage desk. We stopped doing any employee benefit schemes, and we concentrated on purely dealing with individuals. And we also concentrated on a certain character of clients at a certain net worth.
Yeah.
And we also became fee paying at that stage,
Right.
much earlier than was compulsory in the financial services sector.
Okay. So essentially, what you've done is what any great business does, which is identify the client that you generate the most value for and that generates the most value for you. You honed in on that client and you jettisoned any other products or services that wasn't super serving that client. That's correct?
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, that is the smart way of developing a business, John. But did you have what inspired you to do that in the first place?
I think it was talking to people like yourself, business coaches, moving the business forward because you can never stay still in business. You have to always be driving forward,
Yeah.
and you can't be an expert in all fields. And speaking to various individuals, and we took on board a an advisor for the firm who was actually a financial advisor, and he came from a different environment to where the existing partners had come from, and shed a different light on things. And we felt his approach was
Mm.
something to be worked upon, and we did.
Yeah. And it's proved highly profitable and really good for your clients because you're focusing on the thing that you deliver value for.
I 100% agree. I mean, we've made our slogan, um, guardians of your wealth, and that's exactly what we strive to do.
Yeah.
and we focus on a particular type of client that we're happy with, and we just work with them.
Yeah. So from my understanding is you're quite selective about the clients that you work with. You don't
Exactly.
you don't take anybody on board, irrespective of what the product set may be. You actually have a criteria for your key client.
Yes.
What is that criteria? How do you assess?
There's a fiduciary level which we set, where the clients have to have a certain level of net worth. That does not necessarily mean money sitting in the bank, but it's assets available, such as pension funds, ISA funds, etc. And also, the very important is the chemistry between the advisor and the individual.
Yeah,
Because if that doesn't work, you could be the best financial advisor in the world, and you're not going to have a good working relationship.
yeah, yeah. Does that helps you thrive in your industry, right? That's what you've got, what you're now known for.
I would think so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So super valuable for your clients, selective about who you work with. You've got a honed criteria to work with a client, which is absolutely fantastic. You understand the value you bring and the value that they bring you. Tell me, as you've been developing that, what resources have you used in order to kind of shine the light in the dark room, as it were? So you've got how's the board structured? How's the company organized?
We're a partnership, and we have currently five equity partners. There was originally three, and we brought on two new younger partners from within. And we have regular board meetings, and we use an external chairman who shines a light, as you so rightly put, and has an external view on the business. And also, very importantly, as a minimum once a year, we take time out of the business to go have a board meeting and a venue that's not on our premises, where we discuss the business and we spend time looking at the business rather than in the business.
Yeah. So
And that's worked tremendously well.
So you do spend time working on the business as opposed to in the business, which is vital. Was there any was there any inspiration for that? Did your chairman bring that in, or is that something that you built into the business?
I think, again, talking to external sources and reading, I'm a firm believer. I'm very fond of the E-Myth book, and the making certain that the production of the business is you can't be everything, and you have to take time out to actually look at what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I think a lot of businesses are really guilty of being very insular, of believing the stories that they put out into the world, and having an external chairman or having a chairman who's prepared to challenge inside the boardroom gets away with the groupthink. And I love the fact that you spoke about the E-Myth. Michael Gerber's book is such a classic. It's probably why it's sold so many, but it's also inspired many businesses. Are there any other are there any other learnings? Are there any other books that you'd like to share that you think are particularly valuable but particularly for your industry?
I personally like the writings of Carl Richards, called The Behavior Gap, which is very appropriate in our industry, and very much in keeping with our corporate thinking of
Yeah,
the way we conduct ourselves with regard to investments within our framework.
right. Okay. That's interesting. So if I can come on to the next aspect, which is the challenges that you face inside the business. So this is the challenger stories. This is about how to grow a business, but you're confronted with certain forces in your industry. Tell me about what the challenges are that you confront on an
I think now is a very appropriate time with the upcoming budget that's caused a lot of uncertainty amongst uh, our clients and the public in general, plus external regulation. We're a highly regulated profession, and that regulation is getting tougher and tougher. In many cases, I believe 100% correctly so. Uh, One never likes bureaucracy, but it's with everybody.
Yeah.
And those challenges, the external economic factors and compliance are probably the biggest challenges we face.
Okay.
And of course, bringing staff on board of the right caliber,
Mm.
training, and so on and so forth, and growing the business in the right way are
Yeah.
challenges.
Which you say grow the business in the right way. What do you determine to be the right way to grow your business?
We are very structured. Again, one of the processes we developed over the last 18 years or so is a very structured approach. So basically, if a client comes in and sees me, the approach that I adopt is exactly the same approach as any other consultant within the business. So if I'm away on holiday or
Mm.
unavailable and a client phones up, any other of our advisors can pick up the file and know exactly what I've been doing
Yeah.
and why I've been doing it, and the investment profile, everything is regimented and the same throughout the whole business.
So you have systemization and processes built in, hard baked into the business, and that enables you to grow sustainably
Yes,
without putting your clients in peril, which is of course
correct.
the risk. You're in a very highly regulated industry, of course.
And again, when we bring on new individuals as new consultants, um, they have a procedure that they have to follow,
Yeah.
and it's the same as everyone else. So again, that's from Gerber.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Systemization
yeah,
processes.
it's the
It's
McDonald's theory where
100%. Yeah.
everything, to walk into any McDonald's anywhere in the world and it's the same.
Yeah, I often speak to businesses and say, would you trust your business to a 21-year-old manager and a 17-year-old workforce? And they say, oh, no, I can't do that. And then you say, well, actually, one of the most successful businesses in the world does that on a daily basis. And it all comes down to those systems and processes baked into the business. And that's a
Right.
really smart thing to do. So if I can highlight a couple of things that are fantastic that you're doing. So working on the business, not in the business, the systemization, the processes, and highlighting which clients you deliver the most value for. That's going to give you really strong, sustainable growth. I can see it, and you've got a really good product or you've got a really good service offering. If is there anything that you'd change? Is if you could go back in time and give advice to your 18-year-old self, what would that be?
I'm a very firm believer in that you learn from your errors and you learn from mistakes. I know this is something that it's bandied around, but had we have gone down a particular course and changed something, then something else wouldn't have happened. And thankfully, we have a quite successful business. We've learned from our errors. We're forever trying to perfect what we're doing.
Hmm.
You can't stand still in business. You stand still and you're going backwards.
Yeah.
And we're forever trying to innovate and provide better and better service. You must never be complacent and think you're there.
Mm.
There's always something better you can be doing.
Yeah.
And when you make mistakes, learn from them. And so, really, would I change anything? No.
You wouldn't change it. There's not one single thing you change. I love that because what that means is well, obviously you learn by your mistakes, clearly. No one learns from winning. They learn from the losses that they have. But it doesn't sound like you're doing that at the expense of your clients, which is supremely important. Of course it is. So just one last question really is what gets you out of bed in the morning? Because you started in the industry, you came from a different industry entirely. You fell into financial services. which some people don't think of as being a passionate environment or a passionate industry, but you clearly have a passion for it because you've been doing it for more than 24 years in your current position. What gets you out of bed in the morning?
I thankfully am of an age, if I wanted to, I could be retired. I love coming into work. I love my interaction with my clients. Nearly all of my personal clients I could call friends. Over the years, built up a very good rapport. And it's a forever changing feast because you speak to someone one day and 3 weeks, 3 months, a year later, and they've got different circumstances.
Yeah,
And it's forever changing and life doesn't stand still.
yeah.
And life also sometimes throws you that nasty curveball and how to deal with it. And it's just a forever changing feast and it's enjoyable. And I love the interaction with individuals.
And I'm sure you get thrown some very different curveballs. I mean, we're doing this interview. What is going to be very shortly? There will be the first budget of a new government, the new Labour government. There's going to be lots of curveballs in there. Do you think, or not? Do you think there will be some curveballs in there? How do you deal with curveballs like that? Because it is a really fast moving environment. People don't really appreciate how rapid circumstances change in the financial services industry.
And in life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, I think you've always got to be flexible, open-minded, and knowledgeable.
yeah,
With the upcoming budget, there's so much speculation about what may or may not be in it. And this is only nothing more than speculation. Till the actual budget's been put out there and we see the detail, then we can act.
yeah,
We
yeah,
shouldn't try and preempt things,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
There's been so much noise about this particular budget and so much doom and gloom about it. It may be that way. On the other hand, it might be a lot lighter.
yeah.
Who knows?
But your job is to bring your clients through that journey to to make sure it's as smooth transition as possible and that they get the best results that they can. And because you've honed in on who you deliver the most value to, then they'll get that result, won't they?
Hopefully, yes. I mean, financial planning is a moving feast and must always be flexible.
Yeah.
Plans that you set up 5, 6 years ago may or may not still be relevant and they need to be adapted. And that's the role of the financial advisor.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, John, it's been fascinating speaking with you. I really, really appreciate your time today, and I also really appreciate the conversation that we've had around honing in on what is your real nailed-on customer. There's a great book called Pumpkin Plan that does exactly what you've just described, and that's identifying the customer that provides the most value to you and you provide the most value to. It's a brilliant way to build a business. You've done it really successfully. I love the fact that you don't work with everybody and you're really selective about the products and services you provide for your client base. So thank you so much, John. It's been a real privilege. We'll keep in contact, no doubt. We're neighbours as well. So, John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.